You know what the problem was with Caleb? The reason that he wanted Canaan so bad, he was dissatisfied with Egypt, and he was equally as dissatisfied in the wilderness. See, too many Christian people get out of Egypt, meaning they get saved and they get satisfied. Wilderness living's okay with them. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get satisfied in the wilderness. Not if I know we are one step, we are just one river passing from getting into a place spiritually that God can do more for us than what we have experienced thus far. And here's what God said about Caleb, not what I said, but what God himself said about Caleb. Write the reference down. Numbers 14:24, the Lord pointed out two distinct things about Caleb that makes a Caleb what a Caleb is. He said this about Caleb. He's got another spirit in him. That's what he said first. And then secondarily, he said this. He has fully followed me. Think about that. Two distinct qualities that make a Caleb a Caleb. Number one, I love the fact that God said he's got another spirit. In other words, the spirit of faithlessness that rested in the other 10 spies that said we couldn't take the land, he didn't have that. The spirit of resistance in the wilderness, he didn't have that. The spirit of, as we'll find out later in the message, murmuring and complaining and just, being completely discontented with all God had, he didn't have that. He had another spirit. And can I say this? The reason that there are Calebs in a church like ours is because they had a different spirit than the spirit that seems to come and go around church. They wanted more than status quo. They could have settled a long time ago. Matter of fact, there would have been several others that didn't have the same spirit they could have got on board with, could have locked up with, but they said, nah, God has told us. Matter of fact, Caleb said, I have seen it, and I want a piece of the pie of Canaan land. I appreciated that with all my heart. And then he said this about Caleb. He said, he fully follows me. So if Caleb was here today and he was sitting on the front row and I were to say, Brother Caleb, let me ask you a question, sir. Is there any disobedience in your life? He would say, no, sir. So are you saying anything God's dealt with you over that you have, to the best of your ability, the best of your knowledge, you have responded in obedience to the Lord? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Fully. That's how you create a Caleb. Right. You can't be a Caleb if you got a spirit like the others that we'll learn about here momentarily. And you can't be a Caleb if you're kind of like halfway doing or following the Lord. You got to have the kind of heart and spirit, which is what we're praying about this week, that you want to be so sensitive that if God asks that something changes in my life, it just changes.